Hi everyone! I hope everyone is well. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of my podcast, Book and Story World with author Priya Gurwal. Today I thought I would have a look back at the films I have watched more recently and appreciate the storytelling of movies I have watched recently. First of all, I watched a film called Sinners after a recommendation. The film begins with two brothers returning to their hometown in Mississippi. The film is set in 1932. The film sets the scene of 1930s nostalgia for a while at the beginning of the movie. Then the film takes an unexpected plotline turn when the characters in a bar have to defend themselves from the evil vampires that turn up outside and are thirsting for blood. I thoroughly enjoyed the 1930s setting of the film with the sudden scary arrival of vampires. I would definitely recommend the film as a must-watch. I ordered the DVD movie version of Until Dawn a few weeks ago after another recommendation. As mentioned previously, I thoroughly enjoyed playing the survival horror video game back in 2022 on PlayStation 4. I was curious about what the film would be like. Myself and Mum both enjoyed the film immensely. The film begins with the character Clover, flanked by her friends, going to investigate the area where Clover's sister disappeared the year before. They end up in an abandoned visitor centre. Horrifically, the group of friends all end up being killed horrifically by a masked killer. The film then takes a different turn from the video game when, all of a sudden, the friends all find themselves resurrected in the places where they were killed. In the confusion, the group realises that they are going to keep repeating the night over and over again, with the killer killing them all and then being resurrected again. The mission of the film is to break the repetitive evil cycle and save themselves from the killer. The group also worries about not returning from the dead the next time around. The suspense is great and the storyline is amazing. Until Dawn is another definite must-watch. Recently I watched a film called Intrusion starring Freida Pinto. The character Mira moves to a new home in a new town with her husband Henry. The couple experience the terrifying occurrence of a home invasion. The story then turns into a mystery surrounding the truth about the home invasion. Mira becomes paranoid as her husband may not be quite what he seems to be. I don't want to include any spoilers, so I will just say that the end of the film is truly shocking and the truth is quite horrific. Another more recent unique film is the film Heretic starring Hugh Grant. The film begins with two missionaries from a church arriving at the home of a man named Mr. Reed, played by Hugh Grant. The film is extremely religiously controversial as Mr. Reed challenges everything about the girls' beliefs in religions and wishes to expose religions as a system of control. Mr. Reed then lures the two girls into his basement to become a part of his deadly religious game with himself. The film is controversial and thought-provoking, challenging even the viewer's thoughts and beliefs about religions. Heretic is a great film that should definitely be put on everyone's list of films to watch. A while ago, I came across the 1983 film The Outsiders, featuring an all-star cast consisting of Ralph Macchio, Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise, Matt Dillon and Patrick Swayze. The film is about a teen gang in America called the Greasers. The Greasers are rivals of another group branded the Socials. Two of the Greaser gang members get into a fight with some of the Socials, and the fight leads to the death of one of the Socials. The two boys then go into hiding. I was amazed watching how great the film The Outsiders is. It was superbly acted and a very enticing watch. The gang culture element of the film is extremely interesting to view. I would call The Outsiders an unexpected gem of a movie. Another unique movie I've seen recently is called Coherent, starring Xander from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, whose real name is Nicholas Brendon. The film begins with 8 friends at a dinner party. During the dinner party, a comet passes by and the group of friends end up in a strange form of reality. They discover that there is the exact same house as the one they're in at the end of the road. Some of the group look in the window to discover beings who are an exact replica of themselves, doing the exact same thing as themselves. The friends then have to find a way out of their strange parallel universe situation. The mystery of the replicas is riveting, and the suspense and fear surrounding the replicas builds up, wondering who they are exactly, are they dangerous, and the viewer is left wondering who has played this cosmic prank on the group of friends. Coherence is definitely a unique, riveting watch, which was released in 2013. I enjoyed a return to a 90s feeling film which was made in 2007 starring Kevin Costner called Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks is a celebrated businessman receiving an award at the beginning of the movie. Later, we find out that Mr. Brooks is a serial killer as he kills a couple in the bedroom of their house. He commits the killing with the curtains open. Mr. Brooks, the character, enjoys the kill after it seems he has abstained from killing for a while. It seems that Mr. Brooks has an imaginary friend-type figure that some may say represents his alter ego. The figure called Marshall encourages Brooks to kill. The figure is an unseen entity, only seen by Mr. Brooks. Later, a man who witnessed the killing through the window blackmails Brooks into taking him on as his serial killer protege. We then view an investigator played by Demi Moore investigating what is called the thumbprint killer, who is Mr. Brooks really. We watch Mr. Brooks play the facade of the family man with his wife and daughter. The unseen entity, Marshall, is thought-provoking as I wondered if he was really a fallen angel who is invisible and encouraging Brooks to kill again. Mr. Brooks is a compelling, enthralling film to watch. I have enjoyed watching American films on Amazon Prime recently, which are in the style of 90s made-for-TV movies. One film is about a woman whose son committed suicide. She becomes the housekeeper in the young college student's house, a female who she blames for her son's suicide. The film is called A Housekeeper's Revenge. I enjoyed the unraveling mystery of why the mother blamed the girl for her son's suicide. The fake housekeeper becomes murderous in her rage. A Housekeeper's Revenge is an engaging, compelling watch. I also thoroughly enjoyed a film called Irresistible on Amazon Prime starring Susan Sarandon, Sam Neill and Emily Blunt. The film was released in 2006. Sarandon's character Sophie starts becoming paranoid when items go missing from her house. She begins to believe she has a stalker. At the start of the film, Sophie attends a party and meets her husband, played by Sam Neill's co-worker Mara, played by Emily Blunt. Sophie becomes convinced that Mara is the one stealing items from the house. Sarandon's character Sophie is made to look crazy as she accuses Mara of taking items from her house. Irresistible is a great film with a great ending to look out for. The Landlady, released in 1998, is a fun black horror comedy satire to watch. The character Melanie kills her husband at the start of the film as she discovers that he is having an affair. Melanie remains undiscovered and moves into a new apartment block where she becomes the landlady. Melanie becomes obsessed with a male tenant and decides to kill anyone in the way of making him her husband. The film is a fun watch as it contains many satirical elements. Jacob's Ladder, released in 2019, an apparent remake, is about a military medic who returns home from Afghanistan believing his brother is dead. It seems that he has married his deceased brother's former girlfriend. The character Jacob, played by Michael Ealy, soon finds out his brother isn't dead, and his world soon spirals into paranoia and not knowing what is real or not. I'd say that Jacob's Ladder 2019 is a must-watch for all. The film Eternal, made in 2004, begins with a very bloody opening. We then follow the path of a detective called Raymond Pope, who is searching for his missing wife, who was the victim of a vampire-like woman at the beginning of the film. Raymond's character is called into question when we find out he was cheating on his wife with his friend's wife. Raymond's investigation takes him to the vampire-like woman from the start of the film who has killed his wife and goes by the name of Elizabeth Kane. Elizabeth Kane lives in a mansion with a female companion called Irina. Raymond's life becomes dangerous as his investigation leads him to the gory truth about Elizabeth Kane. I thoroughly enjoyed the film Eternal, which definitely contains a supernatural allure. Another great movie I watched recently is Sketch Artist, made in 1992. The film begins with a sketch artist for the police sketching a witness's description of a woman seen leaving a murder scene. The sketch artist is shocked to discover that he has sketched his own wife as the murder suspect. The sketch artist quickly changes the sketch to not look like his wife before handing the sketch to the police. The sketch artist then begins investigating his wife and the murder himself. Sketch Artist is an enthralling watch. Roadkill, made in 1997, starring the deceased Paul Walker, is an intense, thrilling, suspenseful ride of a film. Paul Walker's character, called Lewis, picks up his brother called Fuller, who Lewis has to bail out of jail. Fuller installs a CB radio, which looks like a walkie-talkie, into the car, and the two can hear truckers' conversations. Lewis is on the way to pick up a female friend from college. The two brothers end up playing a prank on one of the truckers. The trucker doesn't take kindly to the prank, and the film turns into a horror with the trucker intent on hunting down the brothers to kill. Roadkill is an excellent film that I thoroughly recommend. Inspired to Kill is a 2016 American made-for-TV movie. The main character, Kara, moves across the country when her boyfriend is killed in an accident. She begins to attend a writing course in LA. Kara ends up dating an older man who is also a crime novelist. Kara's life takes a strange turn when people who wronged Kara in the film are later found dead. The film is a thrilling, clever watch which features Antonio Sabato. Another unique, thought-provoking film is Vivarium, released in 2019. A couple are looking for a new home together and suddenly become trapped in a house and street of identical houses. Nobody else lives on the street, and as a viewer you are left wondering what is this strange occurrence actually about. Later, a baby is left on the premises for the couple to raise. After watching the film, myself and Mum spoke at length about what the truth of the movie is. Therefore, I would say that Vivarium is a thought-provoking conversation starter must-watch of a movie, provoking different theories on the film to discuss. Another strange film I watched quite recently is The Assessment, released in 2024. The story is set in a future where the right to parenthood and having a child is controlled by the government. An assessor is sent to a couple's house to assess whether they are fit to have children in a 7-day assessment. The film turns into a horror as a couple's experience with the assessor turns into a nightmare. The Assessment is another must-watch movie. A comical slasher movie that turned quite deep for myself is called Founders Day, released in 2023. The mayoral election is around the corner and a mass killer begins killing residents of the town. The film became deeper for myself due to the suggestion of many members of the town and in different professions being in on the murders, as opposed to other slasher movies displaying teenagers or 20-somethings being the perpetrators. Founders Day suggests that this isn't possible without a grown-up, older influence secretly directing the kills. As a result of this, I had a great time watching Founders Day. Another excellent film to watch is Escape Clause, released in 1996 and starring Andrew McCarthy. McCarthy is a happily married man with children until one day he receives a phone call from a hitman telling him his wife has paid the hitman to kill himself. McCarthy's quest to find the truth takes him on a deadly, fatalistic path for all characters involved. I highly recommend Escape Clause to anyone looking for a thriller to watch. Another great thriller is Bad Influence, starring Rob Lowe and James Spader. James Spader's character Michael is befriended by Rob Lowe's character called Alex. While Michael believes Alex to be a friend, Alex's sabotage of Michael's life begins to spiral out of Michael's control. Alex turns out to be an evil, dangerous figure intent on destroying Michael's existence. Another excellent thriller starring James Spader is a film called Dream Lover, released in 1993. Spader's character called Ray is a divorcee who meets a woman called Lena and ends up marrying her. As the marriage continues, Spader's character finds out Lena is not what she seems. Again, Spader's character ends up with another sociopath. Both films are excellent thrillers to watch. That concludes Season 2, Episode 7 of my podcast, appreciating the storylines of all the films I have watched recently. Best wishes to all and have a lovely day and week, everyone. Bye-bye.